There we go. That wasn't a very smooth transition. Hi again. Welcome, maybe, well, probably welcome back to a few people. To yeah, the Christmas special of the Bureau Quarantine Quiz. I hoped this would never have to happen. I hoped that Boris was going to let us have a normal Christmas, but Boris thought otherwise. So here we are. Um, and Yeah, well, I've yeah, it's been a while, I suppose. I think when did I stop? About July-ish. So yeah, I've really enjoyed making this one though. It's been really good fun. I hope you enjoy the sort of little Christmas elements. I've actually sort of rebuilt the whole thing from the ground up. So yeah, I've been bored. Um, so yeah, hopefully everybody has had a good Christmas, um, regardless of what Boris has tried to do to mess it up. Um, I certainly have. It's been great spending a bit of time with my family. Plenty of food, that sort of thing. Yeah, I have transformed. Oh, actually, I have transformed from my Scrooge state in uni to there we go, a more Christmassy sort of, I don't know, uh, feeling at the moment. Yeah, hat. There we go, Tom. Um, Almost forgot. So yeah, this is just a one-off though. I'm not back for good. It's this week and that's it. So no more sort of 10-week series. Uh, yeah, this is it. One Christmas special. Hopefully it'll be good. But yeah, I certainly have had to remind myself though of the format of the quiz. It has been a long time. So well, if you guys need a reminder as well, here it is. So hopefully you've all had access so far to the picture rounds. That this time I don't think I ever did a famous faces round previously on the quiz. So we've got famous faces with a bit of a Christmas twist. I mean, I don't really have many Photoshop skills, but I've used what I've got, um, mainly using Microsoft Word. Uh, so uh, yeah, mainly using Microsoft Word to basically make those photos. Hopefully, you can guess the people in them, basically. So yeah, after that, there'll be 10 questions. That would normally be general knowledge. It sort of still is, uh, but this time it's all kind of Christmas themed. So I don't know. It could be arguably a Christmas round, I suppose. Um, but it's kind of encompasses a whole range of topics. Uh, Yeah, then as usual, we will then have 4 rounds, 5 questions in each round. I've picked some that I've never done before. Actually, we do have a country as we usually did in the previous sort of series of this. Uh, yeah, and then there's a 5 minute break. Obviously, after I put it after the second round of 5 questions. I cannot remember for the life of me whether that was where it was before. It may have been after the first round. Um, yeah, it's after the second round now. Um, I'm sorry if that's different. Uh, so yeah, and then obviously once you finish submit the forms, I'll mark them, all that sort of thing. I will then be back to announce the winner after the quiz. Yeah, I'm not going to add the scores to the championship that we had going before. So Mike, you can breathe a sigh of relief. Um, you will not lose your top spot. Uh, but yeah, so that's about it. It's good to see some old faces as well. Turbo Bread is back. I the big difference now is that I know who Turbo Bread is. I think I'm gonna leave that one. I'm not gonna reveal Turbo Bread's identity. Um, so yeah, you can keep guessing who Turbo Bread is if you really want to know. Send me a message, but I'm not going to reveal it on YouTube. Uh, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, the rounds. Uh, can I say? Apparently, I need to say Me Wender. What? I don't know. Uh, yeah. Okay, so, and Mike is already saying that he wouldn't lose it anyway. We shall see at the end. Right, the rounds. So this week we have got some different rounds. We have a music round. Now, it's not like the previous music rounds with lyrics. It's a bit different. It's just standard questions along the theme of music. So there's no sort of guessing the song and the artist. It's a bit simpler, to be honest with you. Yeah, then we've got a round on 2020. I promise it's not all doom and gloom, but my goodness, I'm going to be happy to see the back of this year, like most people, I would imagine. Yeah, then we've got a round on Netflix. Now, that actually will take the style of the music rounds in previous quizzes, in that I've basically taken the description off Netflix of various films, and you've got to guess the film from the description. It's a bit easier than the music still, at least. And then the country, I never did a round on Japan, and Japan is a great country, so we've got a round on Japan. So, yeah, what is the time? How quickly have I rattled through that? I've gone quite slowly. So yeah, last word. You thought, well, you may have thought I've forgotten. I'm afraid I haven't. Usual word on cheating. Obviously, I can't see you, you can't see me, I can't sort of see if you're on Google looking up the answers. I can't stop you, but please don't. It's a bit boring and it'll just ruin it for yourself and others. So, yeah, that's about that, really. I mean, I don't think anybody ever cheated in the previous 10, so I don't know why they would now. So, without further ado, I think we will get on with the general knowledge round, or at least the sort of Christmas round. So, question 11 on the Google form. You click next and all that. You probably know by now. What happened during the 1914 Christmas Day truce on the Western Front? Hopefully a bit of a one to sort of ease you into it a little bit. And I hope you're enjoying the sort of snowy effect sort of around me, sort of, yeah, I don't know. The directions are reversed on this. It's really weird. Yeah, the sort of snowy effect. Took a while. So yeah, what happens during the 1914 Christmas Day truce on the Western Front is question 11. Question 12, straight onto the theme of Christmas films. Which city is Die Hard set in? Now, actually, I've never seen Die Hard. I'm not great on Christmas films. I do not understand, from what I've heard about Die Hard, why it is a Christmas film. I won't lie. Yeah, there we go. Which city is it set in? Hopefully, I don't know. Never seen it. It could be impossible. That question. Yeah, question 13 is, in a lot of Christmas quizzes, I hate the question, name Father Christmas's reindeer. I mean, because I can't do it, basically. But I've sort of done a twist on that. So, alphabetically, which one of Father Christmas's reindeer comes first? You don't need to know them all, just the one that comes first alphabetically. Probably still wouldn't get it right myself, but anyway. Was it released on Christmas Eve? What is going on in the comments? Oh, I don't know what's going on in the comments now. That, I mean, yeah, you guys tell me. I've got no idea. It takes place at Christmas and starts with Die Hard. I get it. Yes. Okay. There we go. That's why Die Hard is a Christmas film. I still don't see why, but anyway, whatever. It's a tenuous link. Question 14. Moving on. So, yeah, which ocean is the Australian territory, the Christmas Island, situated? In which ocean? Yeah, wouldn't be a Bureau quarantine quiz without some geography in it, surely. I mean, yeah, so here is your geography. I don't think there's a huge amount more, unfortunately. Um, so yeah, which ocean is the Christmas Island in? Is question 14. Okay, so question 15. Bit of literature for you. In Dickens' novel A Christmas Carol, which ghost is the first to visit Scrooge? And apparently I am Scrooge, according to my flatmates. I refuse to acknowledge Christmas until around December the 12th, is why they say that. Having said that, I do think playing Christmas music and decorating the flat and having a Christmas meal in the flat in November is excessive, no matter what the scenario. I've got to say, but apparently I'm Scrooge for that. I don't know. You can fight me in the comments on that one, but I really do think that I'm right on that. So yeah, that is question 15 about Scrooge and the Dickens novel A Christmas Carol. And question 16. No, apparently I'm still Scrooge. Question 16 is on science. Yes, in a Christmas round. Which scientist, famous for his laws of gravitation and motion, was born on Christmas Day in 1642? Meg says Christmas is all year. Yeah. If I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, that's just if Christmas was all year. I mean, Mariah Carey is bad enough for 2 weeks. A year of Mariah Carey, that would be awful. But yeah, there's your Christmas themed general knowledge science question. I believe there is actually another coming up. But first, we've got question 17, which is on songs, sort of. So, according to the song, what did my true love send to me on the second day of Christmas? So yeah, what did my true love send to me on the second day of Christmas? And then question 18 is on something which is probably rather a lot closer to a lot of people's hearts in this, well, watching this video, which is alcohol and, yeah, drinking. So, question 18. In the UK, apple cider is traditionally combined with orange, lemon, cinnamon, cloves, allspice and nutmeg to make which festive drink? I'll be honest, I'd never heard of this one before. It sounds very nice though, and I don't normally drink drink cider. Henry is saying Mariah Carey is back in storage. Don't worry, I am incredibly relieved at that. It is extremely good news. Yeah, she almost got to #1 this year. That was a bit terrifying. That shouldn't be happening. I won't say more than that because I might give away the answer to another question maybe later on. But yeah, it was a bit scary when Mariah Carey almost got to #1. She was up until the week before Christmas. And yeah, I think it was released. I think I read it was released 26 years ago, which I don't know. Yeah, that's question 18 on a cider-based Christmas drink. What's its name? Question 19. At what point During Christmas Day, are you likely to hear the effect of silver fulminate? So yeah, there's your second science question. I don't know, it's not really science. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I know the answer, but it's not that hard to work out. But I know the answer, so yeah. But yeah, silver fulminate. Who knew? So yeah, that is the penultimate question of the general knowledge round. The last question is, well, I mean, hopefully not too hard. Yeah, it's on another Christmas film, one which I don't particularly like. So, oh yeah, sure, yeah, I'll do that, Tom. Yeah, if you need any questions repeated, just yeah, chuck them to me. I don't know, at any time really. I'll repeat them. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, question 20. Which British actor plays the Prime Minister in Love Actually? And I don't really like Love Actually. I mean, I make no secret of not minding Richard Curtis films, but that's not a very good one. Yeah. So that is the last question on the general knowledge round. And yeah, should bring us swiftly on to the sort of, oh, how would I put this? The new format of, well, yeah, the music round, basically, that isn't so hard like it was last time, every time. So, yeah, music. So, yeah, as I say, the lyrics are gone, and we just have questions about music. So, question 21. If you click next on the Google form, it should come up. Which artist has been responsible for the UK's Christmas #1 for the last 3 years? And I think this puts them up there with, I think the Beatles have done it. And I want to say that the Spice Girls have done it, I think. And then this artist, which puts them in quite esteemed company. Yeah, of course. I don't like Love Actually. It's soppy. And it's just sort of, it needs an edge. Some of the other Richard Curtis films have a bit of an edge. Love Actually is just sort of, yeah. It does. You just know that by the end, everybody is going to have kind of got together and everybody's going to live happily ever after. And that's boring in my book. I don't know. People love it, but yeah. So yeah, which band has been responsible for the UK's Christmas #1 for the last 3 years? I was certainly surprised when I read this. Question 22 on the music round. Which band had a huge international hit with the album A Rush of Blood to the Head in 2002? Love Actually has now been called a masterpiece in the comments. I just don't agree. I'm sorry. Actually, though, but if you want a masterpiece, this album, if you haven't listened to this album, if you don't know anything about this album, listen to this album. It's a great one. That is a masterpiece, not Love Actually. That's true, actually. Emma Thompson, Lucinda just pointed out that Emma Thompson would say different about happy endings. It is true. It doesn't end happily for her, but it still ends happily for far too many people, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's like, I think there are something like 7 or 8 storylines in Love Actually, and if one ends in sadness, that's not enough. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, A Rush of Blood to the Head. Who wrote it, or who's it by? That's question 22. Question 23. I had no idea that this was even going on in 2020. But who won the X Factor this year? I didn't even realise they were doing the X Factor. I'm surprised they managed it. It's a shame, really. It would have been a nice way just to end it and kill it. Because I mean, I don't know whether anybody on the comments watches the X Factor anymore. I mean, I know probably did about 5 or 10 years ago, but now, I mean, who watches the X Factor? Yeah, of course I would have a question about that band, Meg. Yeah, it's a great band. But yeah, who won the X Factor? I had no idea. I've never heard of this person. It is a person, not a band. I'll give that away. But yeah. Question 24, though. So, yes, yet again, another band that I don't listen to. But how many members are there in South Korean boy band BTS? Who are somehow ridiculously successful. I have no idea how they've done it. Yeah, they're sort of up there with, I don't know, probably the likes of One Direction and stuff like that, and massive, massive band. I don't know why. I don't really see the point. Apparently the X Factor did happen this year. That's what I've been told. That's what I looked it up. I googled who won the X Factor in 2020, and it did give me an answer. Yeah, that's all I can say. I don't watch the program, I'm afraid. But yeah, how many members are there in South Korean boy band BTS? And the final question of the music round. This has all been very modern music recently. Well, all the last few questions. So we'll go back in time a little bit. Not that far back in time though. Don't worry. Who sang the theme for the James Bond film Thunderball? It's a good film. I'd say probably one of Sean Connery's best ones. I'd say. Yeah, definitely worth a watch. Yeah, who sang the theme for it though? Apparently, me slandering BTS is yeah, racist, and I'm going to be cancelled on Twitter as a result of it. I just don't like their music. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, whatever. So that sums up the music rounds. Hopefully it's been a bit easier than the lyrics. The lyrics were a nightmare for some people, particularly my family, which is, well, yeah, I quite enjoyed it for that reason, but I've been kind this time. So that brings us on to, it's the Netflix round. I wasn't expecting that to come up. I was expecting 2020, but if it is the Netflix, this may be 2020, it may be Netflix. I've got no idea. Just answer the next lot of questions on the Google form. Doesn't matter what it says, rounds wise. So, yeah, question 26. I've got as 2020. Is it 2020? Is it Netflix? It is 2020. So, just answer whatever it says on the Google form. Just answer question 26 as what you think the answer is to this. And the question is, how much money to the nearest million was raised by Captain Tom Moore for the NHS? So yeah, how much money did he raise? It was a ridiculous amount in the end. It was quite impressive, really, for just walking laps at your garden. Henry says it's curious that my benchmark was One Direction. Have I said this on here before? I may have said this in the previous weeks. I actually don't really want to say it. I've said it now, pretty much. I don't mind One Direction. It's not that bad, some of it. And they're a massive band. I mean, if you think about big bands recently in recent years, it's certainly right up there. Um, yeah. Oh, it says 2020. Okay, perfect. But yeah, that's question 26. How much money to the nearest million did Captain Tom Moore raise? Question 27. On films, again, this is our third film question. Which Christopher Nolan film starring John David Washington was first shown in summer 2020? Loving the wooden doll in the back. Is that for all my jewellery? No, I don't really. I got given this. I don't know. It's pointless, isn't it? It's not for my jewellery. Um, but yeah, it's just a wooden thing. I don't really know. Uh, because of. um, Ben, I would say yes. Yes, I would. I would agree with that question. Yeah, you have been living under a rock if you haven't heard of him in the last year. Um, but yeah, there's question 27 on the latest Christopher Nolan film. It is a pretty decent film. Um, Bit difficult to work out. Maybe watch it twice. Um, yeah, that's question 27. Question 28 in the 2020 round. To which 2020 US presidential campaign did Elon Musk and Dennis Rodman give their official endorsement? So yeah, who did they endorse? Yeah, if you follow Elon Musk on Twitter, this would have become fairly obvious. Um, he made quite a song and dance about it when he did endorse this person. But yeah, who was it? It's quite a mix as well. Elon Musk and Dennis Rodman. I mean, yeah, it's not two characters you would have put together before this question or this sort of subject. That's for sure. Um, Question 29. This certainly did go ahead. Whether the X Factor did or not, I don't really know, but this certainly did. Which comedian won this year's series of Strictly Come Dancing? I think we could call it a surprise winner. That's for sure. But yeah, which comedian won it? Apparently he was very good. Yet again, I don't watch Strictly. But yeah. So this brings us to question 30. And this is going right back to almost the start of the year now. I don't know whether any. I mean, Tiger King feels like years ago now. I never really watched it, but yeah, I mean, it feels like it belongs in about 2012, if you ask me, not the first half of this year. But question 30, what is the name of Joe Exotic's YouTube channel? And yeah, it just seems like ages ago. I yeah, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, another world completely. But yeah, so I think it's probably worth saying now if you um that's good to hear, Meg. If you want any questions repeated now is probably a good time to just stick them in the chat. I will get them repeated for you because we're about to move into our break. So yeah, that was question 30. I'll stick around for a oh no, not that. That button works. Yeah, I think Tom, you had a question that you wanted repeating. I mean, yeah, just chuck that one in the chat maybe, and then I'll be gone for 5 minutes. Yeah, it was this year, Meg. It's ridiculous that it was this year. Um, yeah, I don't understand quite how. Uh, the one about the Christmassy cider. So that question, Tom, was question 18 on the general knowledge round, and that is, in the UK, apple cider is traditionally combined with orange, lemon, cinnamon, cloves, allspice, and nutmeg to make which festive drink? So yeah, hopefully you got that one. If you didn't, drop me a message. I will type it out for you or whatever. I will see you in 5 minutes. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed the first half. Here's a bit more Christmassy music to get you into the swing for the second half of the quiz. Okay. Welcome back, guys. A comment on the Jingle Bells song. It it was called the creepiest Jingle Bells song. The creepiest Jingle Bells song Maddie has ever heard. Um, you should have heard the other ones. They were awful. It was just. I mean, if I put the other ones on for 5 minutes, they would have driven you insane. So that's better. But I can understand why it'd be creepy. But I had to put something Christmassy in, and that was pretty much it. Other than, I think there was a jazz version of O Little Town of Bethlehem that was also truly awful. So, I'm afraid you got stuck with that Jingle Bells version. So this is, as you can see there. Hang on, there. This is not the 2020 round. This is the Netflix round. Apparently, I can see your messages, Turbo Bread. I yeah. I don't know. They just sort of get they go to the top quite quickly. I don't know. But yeah, we're on to the Netflix round, not 2020. So yeah, without further ado, question 31. Just to reiterate, this is a quote from the Netflix's description of this film. They're all films. So this quote is: "A top London cop is assigned to investigate a seemingly sleepy town." You got to try and name the film off that. Yeah. So, top London cop is assigned to investigate a seemingly sleepy town. Cracking film. And so, yeah, from the sublime to the ridiculous, from question 31 to question 32. Question 32's quote is: "Los Angeles resident Amanda and Londoner Iris decide to swap homes." And yeah, I'm not going to start a debate on that because the answer will probably get revealed, but you can fight me afterwards about that film. So that is question 32. Can you name the film? Onwards to question 33. I can tell that you probably will, Maddie. Oh, that's not working. There we go. Question 33. Did I rob? No, I didn't. I believe I walked out halfway through. So, question 33. This is a good film. The word friend and millions of lives will never be the same. In fact, the remaining questions are all pretty good films, to be fair. So yeah, the word friend and millions of lives will never be the same. Question 34. Villainous Gru hatches a plan to steal the moon from the sky. And I don't know. I reckon a lot of people would imagine that. I know you won't watch the last one, George. It's a shame. I imagine a lot of people would imagine that I don't like that film, but actually I do. It's a good film. Yeah. So there we go. That is the penultimate question in the Netflix round. And the final question, question 35, that is, of this round, not of the quiz, don't worry. In a world on the brink of collapse, a talented gamer takes the lead in a series of challenges. Meg is asking, are these all Christmas films? No, they are not all Christmas films. Um, they, yeah, they are. They are. Well, yeah, no, they are not all Christmas films. Some of them might be, but not all of them. Um, but yeah, question 35. Uh, yeah. Question 35. In the world on the brink of collapse, a talented gamer takes the lead in a series of challenges. And that is the Netflix round right there. Which leads us then onto, yeah, it doesn't sound very Christmassy. That description is not Christmassy, I won't lie. Um, James Hargraves is saying these are my favourite Christmas films, though. I mean, each to their own. I would watch these over Christmas, apart from one of them, apart from question 32. Yeah, otherwise, I'll watch all of them quite happily. Uh, so, yeah, that is the Netflix round. And it brings us on to our final round. Let's get rid of that sheet of paper. Which is on the country of Japan. Now, in case you had forgotten, in the previous quizzes, or at least until after about week 2, I think, in the previous quizzes, I decided that each week we would have, as our final round, a different country every week. I think we did Italy, Australia, Vietnam, Brazil, the States, I don't know, South Africa, a load of countries, basically. We never did Japan, and Japan is a country that's always really, really interested me. I've never been. I really want to go. But yeah, so here are 5 questions on Japan coming right up, and yeah, this will be the last round of the quiz, last round of this Christmas special. So yeah, let's get on with it, I suppose. So question 36. Japan has had 2 capital cities which are anagrams of each other. Can you name them? I don't think there's any other country in the world, to the best of my knowledge at least. There may be, but to the best of my knowledge there isn't any other country in the world that's had this. Which, I don't know, bit of totally pointless trivia for you there. So yeah, that is question 36 on 2 of Japan's capital cities. Yeah, question 37. I did receive a complaint earlier that there haven't been enough sports questions in this quiz. I do apologise to Alex who did complain. I'd say quite right, there haven't been. However, here is a sports question. I believe we had one in the picture round as well. But yeah, 2 out of 40. I'm sorry, Alex. Yeah, question 37. There are 5 new sports being introduced for the Tokyo Olympics next year. These are skateboarding, climbing, karate, baseball/softball, and what? So, yeah, I don't know what you make of these Olympic sports. I mean, I'll probably anger a few people in the chat here, but I mean, skateboarding? Really? I mean, is that really an Olympic sport? And actually, the worst one is not in 2020/2021, but in the 2024 Olympics, they've just, I think, agreed to introduce breakdancing, which is just not an Olympic sport. I'm sorry. Um, uh, so yeah, that's, I don't know. I'll stick with watching sort of the athletics and the rowing and all that other stuff that actually is an Olympic sport. But no, most of these are not Olympic sports. Um, Before you know it, they'll introduce sort of things like chess, which is just silly. Apparently they apply every time. Um, but yeah, that is question 37. Question 38, much more simple, much shorter than question 37. Uh, what is the primary religion in Japan? Yeah, well, I mean, Ben makes a very good point, saying he would like to see me skateboard slash breakdance, and that is a very good point. I would be hopeless at both. I mean, first of all, I'm not particularly gifted when it comes to sport anyway, but I mean, yeah, I am sure that it takes a lot of practice and everything and skill to do these things, but and you know, I'm sure I'm not insulting or having a go at all at the people who do them. I'm just saying that they don't belong in the Olympics. That's all I'm saying. Um, Much like, to be fair, things like motorsport don't belong in the Olympics. I mean, I'm a massive fan of motorsport, and I believe it's just not an Olympic sport. Um, doesn't stop me admiring drivers involved in motorsport, but yeah. Um, so yeah, what is the primary religion in Japan? Is question 38. After getting quite sidetracked. Uh, so don't mention. Turbo Bread makes a very good point about darts. Darts is just not a sport. I'm sorry. It's a pub game. Pub games are not sport. It's just, yeah, you can fight me on that. Anyway, question 39, the penultimate question of this Christmas special. Um, which well-known Japanese pastime literally translates into English as empty orchestra? Oh, you're doing it with a professional darts player. Turbobread's doing this quiz with a professional darts player. Lovely. I mean, yet again, it's skillful, but it's not a sport. I'm sorry. Uh, it is. Yeah, I'm sure it's. I'm useless at darts as well, and I'm sure it is good fun if you're good at it. But yeah. Uh, I'm like a small child. I mean, come on. It's if you say don't do something, I'm going to do it within reason. But yeah. uh, so yeah, that's question 39 on yeah, a well-known Japanese pastime that translates into English as empty orchestra. What's its name? And that brings us on to our final question. Of course, quite a stir in the comments. This is quite fun. Uh, so yeah, question 40. By what name was the Emperor of Japan who reigned for 60, I can't read that, 62 years until his death in 1989 best known? Don't think we've had much history in this quiz, if any at all. So here is a history question. So yeah, what is JJBA, Henry? I've never heard of it. What on earth is it? Yeah. Uh, so that is question 40 on Japanese history. And that does, I don't know, maybe sadly, hopefully sadly, maybe you've had enough of me and never want to see me again. I would totally understand if you do. feel that way. But oh, God. Meg is saying that we have good memories. We don't have good memories with empty orchestra. We really don't. Uh, yeah. So, um, yeah, that brings us to the end of the questions. Um, and yeah, please do submit your answers to me on the Google form. I will then try and mark them as quickly as I can. Um, I think we've got quite a few people on this one-off quiz, which is great to see. Um, but yeah, it might take a little bit longer, maybe sort of 10-15 minutes. And I will then. Oh, we have a repeated question in the comments for my family. My sister wants question 32 repeated. No, 23. I'm going dyslexic. Question 23. Who won the X Factor this year? Good luck with that one. So, yeah, that's question 23 repeated. If anybody else wants any more questions repeated, send me a message. Henry has just asked if incorrect answer negatively marked. Not at all. Have a guess. Go for it. That's half the fun of a pub quiz, I reckon. And yeah, funny answers make me laugh as well, which is greatly appreciated. So I will see you in a few minutes for the answers and to reveal the winner of this Christmas special Bureau Quarantine quiz. Yeah, see you in a few minutes. Okay, we are back. Wow, there have been some good scores. Let's just say that. But yeah, first, the answers. So let's just get this a bit closer so I can press the right buttons. Move that around. Okay, so the answers. So yeah, the picture round, by and large, done pretty well. Apart from, well, this guy wasn't. This guy's lead singer of one of my favourite bands, Bastille. This is Dan Smith. Yeah. So very well done if you got that. Question 2. This is comedian Sarah Pascoe. Question 3. I hate Made in Chelsea. I'm occasionally subjected to it by my flatmates. I really know nothing about it, but apparently, I'm afraid you don't get points for saying Bastille Man, Mike. Apparently, this is Jamie Lang. Apparently, I don't know. Yeah, question 4. Everybody got this. It's Theresa May, obviously. Yeah, no surprises there. Question 5, yet again, done pretty well. This was Michael Caine. Question 6, yeah, I mean, the outfit and the gesture and everything probably gave it away pretty quickly. It is, of course, Gordon Ramsay. Question 7, yet again, this is something which... Freya is saying that I'm invested in Made in Chelsea. Let's make this abundantly clear. I don't care at all for Made in Chelsea. I hate the programme. Just show me Top Gear. Then I'm happy. This is another thing which I'm not remotely invested in. This is apparently TikTok. And this is apparently a well-known TikToker. I sound like I'm about 50 years old here. This is apparently Addison Rae. Yet again, I've got no idea. I do have an idea about this one, however. This is Leicester City club legend and all-round great goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel. In his Denmark kit here, though. Yeah, so question 9. Well, you haven't seen this guy recently. As was mentioned earlier in the quiz, you have been living under a rock. It's Chris Whitty. Looking sort of a bit happier than he normally does on his briefings. Question 10. This actually was a bit tricky for a few people. This is actress Viola Davis, who has been in quite a few sort of Oscar-winning type films. I think it was The Help she's been in, stuff like that. So, yeah, fairly successful actress. But yeah, a few of you struggled on that one. Fair enough. So, on to the Christmas general knowledge. The sort of event that happened during the 1914 Christmas Day truce was, of course, a game of football, or something along those lines. I mean, I was fairly kind of... you all knew it, so yeah. Die Hard, it turns out, is set in Los Angeles, not Chicago or New York, as quite a few of you put. But yeah, there we go. Still need to see that film. And I think pretty much everybody got this one. It is, of course, Blitzen that comes first alphabetically in a list of Father Christmas's reindeer. And in question 14, it was a toss-up for most people, it seems, between the Pacific Ocean and the Indian Ocean. You would be correct if you said the Indian Ocean. Question 15. The ghost that is the first to visit Scrooge is not one of the ghosts of Christmas past, present or future. It is the ghost of Bob Marley. A few of you tripped up on that one. Yeah, question 16. The scientist famous for his laws of gravitation and motion. It is, of course, Isaac Newton, founder of the Royal Society, I believe. Question 17. My true love sent to me. Yes, it is Jacob Marley, or I accepted Marley. Is it different on there? Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's Marley. Yeah. My true love sent to me on the second day of Christmas 2 turtle doves. I put Bob. I put Bob Marley. Apologies, it wasn't Bob Marley's ghost. It was Jacob Marley's ghost. Bob Marley doesn't. That's quite embarrassing, really. That's yeah. Oh dear. Apologies, Jacob Marley, not Bob Marley. That's pretty awful. Yeah, my mistake. So, yeah, two turtle doves for question 17. A few of you put two turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I just accepted two turtle doves. Whatever. Yeah, and in the UK, this drink. Quite a few of you didn't know this one actually. This is wassail. Quite a few of you put mulled cider. Yeah. So yeah, that's that one. I've never had it, but sounds nice. Most of you got this. The most time during Christmas Day when you're most likely to hear the effect of silver fulminate is when pulling a Christmas cracker. It is what makes them go bang. And question 20, the Prime Minister in Love Actually is, of course, I mean, is it fair to say he's a British institution? I'm not quite sure he's quite on that level, but it is Hugh Grant. So there we go. That rounds out the Christmas, the sort of Christmas general knowledge round, and takes us swiftly onto music, which is still a bit Christmassy, but the artist that has been responsible for UK's Christmas #1 for the last 3 years is Lad Baby. Now, I mean, Lad Baby has produced, I believe, probably 3 songs throughout. Are they a band? Is it their career? I don't know. But yeah, they're all designed, charity singles to get to Christmas #1, and they've been very successful at it in the last 3 years. So there we go. Yeah, and of course the band which released the album "A Rush of Blood to the Head" is Coldplay. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's a great album. Question 23: the winner of the X Factor this year was apparently Megan McKenna. Yet again, I wouldn't have got it. I don't know. So yeah, question 24. I'm surprised how well people did this. It would have been a lucky dip for me, basically. But it turns out that there are 7 members of the South Korean boy band BTS. Yeah. Question 25. Turns out that it was. I think we can call this guy a great Welsh institution. It was Tom Jones that sang the theme for the film Thunderball. No, I'm not a true BTS fan, George. I don't even claim to be. I don't listen to their music. Question 26, moving on to, I believe this is 2020 now. Captain Tom Moore raised to the nearest million, £33 million for the NHS, which is mighty impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if quite a few people watching this video and everything had probably donated to the cause. I don't know. He raised a huge amount of money. The Christopher Nolan film was, of course, Tenet. Yeah, good film. Great cast, interesting story. Watch it twice, though. It's quite hard to work out. 28. This was a bit of a trick. For those of you who went for either Trump or Biden, it was neither. They both actually endorsed Kanye West. Which I mean, to call Dennis Rodman responsible, I think would be a little inaccurate. But Elon Musk, as a supposedly responsible member of American society, to endorse this bloke, I don't know what he was doing. But anyway, there we go. Question 29, it was, of course, Bill Bailey that won this year's series of Strictly Come Dancing. Really funny guy. I don't know how on earth he won Strictly, but anyway, there we go. So, yeah, question 30, moving on. Oh no, still on 2020, sorry. The name of Joe Exotic's YouTube channel was quite simply Joe Exotic TV. I mean, yeah, does it get more simple. But I don't know. I wouldn't blame you if you've forgotten like that. I mean, Tiger King seems, as I said before, seems like it was years ago. Yeah, moving on to Netflix. A top London cop is assigned to investigate a seemingly sleepy town. Well, I should say, perhaps, Yarp. It is, of course, Hot Fuzz. And if you haven't seen that film, I mean, if you don't do anything tomorrow, just make sure that you watch that film. If you haven't seen it before, it is a brilliant film. Don't listen to A Rush of Blood to the Head or anything like that. Just watch that film. That sort of supersedes everything. Yeah, this, however, is a frankly awful film, in my opinion. It is the only Christmas film also on this list, on the as a question here, but it is The Holiday, and yeah, it's awful. I mean, it's what else can I say? Yeah, that's about it. I walked out halfway through it when my flatmates put it on. This, however, is a very good film, and it stars Mark Zuckerberg and Andrew Garfield. I think also Justin Timberlake is in it. But yeah, that is The Social Network. Great film about the founding of Facebook. Definitely recommend that one as well. And then into the realm of children's films, villainous Gru hatches a plan to steal the moon from the sky. It is, of course, Despicable Me. Yet again, really good film. Really enjoyed that one. And the final Netflix question is, in a world on the brink of collapse, a talented gamer takes the lead in a series of challenges. It is, of course, Ready Player One, which is a really interesting film, actually. I think it's directed by Steven Spielberg as well, which, I don't know, it's a bit surprising. But yeah, it's a half-decent film. Question 36, moving on to the Japanese rounds. Well, the Japanese questions, sorry. So Japan has had two capital cities which are anagrams of each other. I think most of you got this. It is, of course, Tokyo and Kyoto. So, yeah, there we go. Question 37. The new Olympic sport for 2020, or what would have been this year or whatever. Yet again, I mean, it's great fun to do, but I wouldn't really call it a sport. It's surfing. Is now an Olympic sport, apparently, and I don't understand why. But anyway, it's there. So, yeah, that's question 37. Question 38, the primary religion in Japan. Quite a few of you put Buddhism and stuff like that. I completely, I mean, Buddhism is a very big religion in Japan. That is fairly logical, I suppose. But it is, in fact, Shintoism, which I know very little about. But anyway, there we go. Question 39, the penultimate question of the quiz, is something I hate. Which well-known Japanese pastime literally translates into English as empty orchestra? Now that, of course, is the horrible karaoke. And yeah, bad memories doing karaoke occasionally when I'm forced to do it. Yeah. Final question of the quiz then. By what name was the Emperor of Japan, who reigned for 62 years until his death in 1989, best known? And that, of course, is Emperor Hirohito. Led them through, yeah, loads of stuff. No, Meg, I really don't love karaoke. Okay, so, yeah, that takes us on to the winners. And in fact, I think for the first time ever, yeah, George is asking if breakdancing is going to be an Olympic sport. It is, just in 2024 for the Paris Games, not at Tokyo, I'm afraid. So you are correct in saying it will be an Olympic sport, just not next year. 2024. Bad luck. But yeah, winning teams. I can actually give you. Well, I'm going to give you a top 3 this time for the first time ever. What about pole dart? I think yet again that's 2024, Rob. So yeah, they announced a whole load more. Okay, so yeah, I can say in joint third place, and well, I mean one of them is hardly a surprise, and one of them really is. I won't lie. So the one that isn't a surprise is Mike Evans, the winner of um, the sort of 10 quiz championship that we had earlier on in the summer. Very well done to him and his family. And yeah, thank you for joining us again. But yeah, that was with 32 points. But then tied with him on 32 points somehow, and I don't really know how. I suppose the questions were more geared towards you somehow. But yeah, is my well, are my flatmates Lucinda, Freya, and George? You got 32 out of 40. Very well done. Yeah, that's impressive. So yeah, that is the tie for third place. Yeah, I mean, I suppose technically, yeah, no, it's yeah, tie for third place. Yeah, there you go. So then in second place with a score, with a score that Rob is refusing to accept. That I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I say that you did that. So so yeah, in second place, yet again a team that when they have been with us have always scored very highly with frankly astounding 35 out of 40. Would win most of my quizzes, but unfortunately not this week. Are the Baron Babes? Very well done to you guys. That was a really solid effort, and you're unlucky not to be winning it. But yeah, it's second place nonetheless, so hopefully that's some consolation. However, in first place, we have a person who has never won this quiz before at all in the last, well, now I suppose 11 quizzes that we've done. So yeah, I think unfortunately, having said that I'm not going to reveal their identity live on YouTube, I think now I'm going to have to, because with 38 out of 40, which is frankly a ridiculous score, and by far the highest in terms of percentage, or I think probably just overall score that I've ever seen on this quiz, in any of the quizzes, is Turbo Bread. Turbo Bread has won the quiz, and well, I mean, all I can say is very well done, Ellie. I do finally know who you are. And well done to your family, who I can imagine are all with you. And yeah, I'm sorry for insulting darts, but yeah, 38 out of 40 is a seriously impressive score nonetheless. Yeah, so that kind of brings us to the end of the quiz. So all I can say, I suppose, is well, I mean, it's been really good fun doing this. Thank you very much for watching. We've had well, I've had great fun doing this. It is just going to be a one-off. I will not be back next week. Don't worry. I'm not going to subject you to this every week. But yeah, basically, yeah, have a great new year, whatever form that takes. You know, whether it's virtual or somehow in person. I don't know, kind of what you're planning or anything like that. But yeah, so have a great new year, and well, I will hopefully see you in person before too long. And thank you very much for watching. Yeah, that's about it. Cheers.